Everyone loves a good mall pretzel. They bring back those memories of being an awkward teen roaming the malls trying to look cool. But the malls are dying and we humans still need those delicious pretzels. Thankfully, we've got a medically retired mine inspector and a public relations professional, neither with any background in the food industry, here to save the day for us pretzel lovers.
Hi, I'm Andy.
And I'm Anastasia.
And welcome to the Pretzels Plus.
With an Amish touch.
All across the country, small business owners are doing their best to succeed. In this series, I spend a few days with these people to see what it takes. Business owners will learn how others are making it by, and consumers will be introduced to the people behind their favorite establishments. This is Downtown Diaries. Let's get right into the good stuff. Pretzels. How are these golden brown pillows of salty, buttery goodness made? It begins with a combination of flours and secret ingredients, and for Pretzels Plus, acquiring this patented recipe took a little extra work, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, let's get started. Flour, water, yeast.
And that'll mix up for about 8 minutes. We pretty much have to make dough every day.
Will that last
Andy,
you through the day though?
Most of the time it does.
Okay.
So our dough is made fresh here on site. It used to be delivered from a warehouse in Hanover, Pennsylvania. So now it's straight from the flour, different types of flour, straight to that bucket. So yeah, it is fresh now. And it actually, we've seen that it had to adjust our cook time. And we also had to adjust almost like the way that our pretzel looked. So they used to have to use 5 to 5.5 ounces to make that big pretzel. Now if we use that, it extends the cook time, darkens them underneath even more. And our pretzels, because they are hand rolled with no preservatives, no added chemicals, a lot of pretzel companies, you know that brown crust on the outside, that's actually a chemical that people put into pretzels to make it have that brown. Yeah, it's like yeah, so everything that we put in is all natural, so we try to make it very, good. And a lot of people don't know our pretzels are considered 100% vegan because we use a soy butter on our pretzels. So anyone can come in and enjoy, our pretzel.
That's right. Even the vegans can enjoy these delicious pretzels. Anyway, how do you actually make them?
Now, how we teach people to do pretzels when they're just getting started is we have them weigh them out, roll them till they come about arm's length apart, and then we have them cancer ribbon, second twist, pull down, fluff.
That's it. Roll it out, slap it on the table a few times, cancer ribbon, second twist, fluff, boom. Now, just do that over and over and over and over and over again. They don't just do salted and unsalted pretzels though. They've got a ton of specialty flavors and toppings. Hot honey, everything bagel, dill pickle, garlic parm, and even a couple local favorites. And these collabs have been huge for Pretzels Plus.
I've always been a person to collaborate and do things like that. Yep. Any small business, it's the name of the game in small business that collaborations to help get the word out about other businesses helps. We went down to the toffee house and said, hey, can we buy some of your crumbs? They were like, here, as long as you share our information on Facebook that it's that, you can use it. And people were like, this is so cool, there's collaborations, and it just kept going. Yeah. So we didn't make cookies, so Jenna's Custom Cakery made cookies for our boxes. And promoting them,
it's just the small things on that level.
Yeah, and that was all that small stuff.
We were blessed to be exposed to especially Frostberry early on.
Oh my gosh, Janet Frostberry is incredible.
And I just learned and just watched those guys, paid attention to Cretan's gyros, and then obviously none of this in this area, in this new facility would have been possible without Chris Potts.
As Anna and Andy both said, collaboration is so important for small businesses. Being able to communicate your learnings with others and introduce each other to your audiences is so valuable, especially early on. As you can see in the background of those shots of us talking, there is a lot more than just pretzels here, which brings us to a little restock break. I feel like the entire time I was here, things were being restocked and adjusted to make sure that everything was labeled, visible, and well organized so their customers are able to find exactly what they're looking for. And leading the charge was Diana. She's been a piece of the Pretzels Plus family since long before Anna and Andy purchased it, like 12 years before they purchased it, and there has been a lot of change. When you switched from the mall to here,
which was a lot happier because I knew that it was not going to be in the mall. We're not going to be in the mall anymore. You're able to see outside your,
that's
because you were just
in that corner,
the corner, and that's all you saw.
Like, this is a completely different thing now.
It is absolutely different because I am
pretzels are a
learning.
piece
Yeah,
of it.
we're all as a team, we're learning everything. So yeah, as we're going, we're learning also, which is good though.
Yeah.
It's good that it's not just pretzels. It's not just
Yeah.
your pretzel dogs, your pepperoni rolls, and that's basically what we did at the mall.
Having windows and room to move around certainly is a pleasant change. One of the first things I noticed while I talked with Anna and Andy was how important community and giving back was.
What I'm hoping that happens with our community overall is not only the experience of coming into the Pretzels Plus, but I want to build to where our neighbor beside us is trying to do the same thing we're doing here, the cleaning, the gathering points. I dug up some case law to ensure that in the event we wanted to donate food, that wouldn't come back to harm us as a company, and it exists, and it's under the Good Samaritan Act. And whenever I found that and explained to Anna, I told her, I said, Anna, this is great. I said, we can make a bunch of food, and at the end of the day, if we made too much, we can take it all to the Veterans House, we can take it all to the Salvation, take it all to the Mission, and it's all 100% legal and everything's fine. And that to me is
so we don't really have waste here. Everything
we don't have any
leaves.
waste. And we've taken 3 gallons of vanilla ice cream over to them just because during the transfer when we moved, we knew we were down for 2 weeks. I told Anna, just send that ice cream up to the Mission. And that's the community that I'm trying to build, taking care of the community that some of the community may have forgotten about, if that makes any sense. So we're trying to tie all that together. And I think that's kind of what we're doing here at the Pretzels Plus.
Now that we have the opportunity to really do that, it's really awesome. It is. So, we're involved with different charity groups and things like that, but our focus recently has really been on the Veterans House, because with Andy's military background, they're right here behind our building in our backyard, and they're just trying to get there.
Locally, he and a few other colleagues really were the forefront of getting that Veterans House up and running, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So if those guys can get the entire complex built and running, the rest of us should be able to step in and ensure that it continues to run, So as much as you may hear me complain about finances, Brad, you always try to find room in there for those outlets. That's a must.
Pretzels Plus also has a couple employees that have been fantastic additions to the team that have come through a few local organizations focused on helping some of those underserved groups that Andy referenced earlier.
So the Supportive Concepts, which Roxanne, who's been walking around that you might have seen floating around, she's with that group, and they came to us within a week and a half of us opening.
About the second week they stopped in.
And just told us what they had going on and what the program entailed, and
it made complete sense to us.
It was a no-brainer for us to bring people in here to just learn.
A little background here. Supportive Concepts is an organization that provides services and support for individuals with behavioral health needs and intellectual and developmental disabilities. They work with individuals and businesses in the area to provide opportunities for people to get work experience that may have been difficult for them to attain otherwise.
You look at that in depth, and through high school, our high school, we had a real good program. But you never look at after graduation, So to see that and to carry on and be able to be a part of that, I think we're honored just for them to even ask us to be a part of their program. And at the end of the day,
it was such a cool thing, and to meet Roxanne and Dustin through this whole thing was just amazing.
It's excellent.
Giving back and supporting the community is obviously an important piece for Anna and Andy. The thing that I was super curious about, though, was the relationship side of running the business. They both came from very different careers and are now running the business together. Adding a business to a relationship can definitely introduce some new stresses. So how are they handling that?
We treat our relationship, it's 60% business and 40% is the rest of a relationship, because you're right, Brad, it is extremely stressful. And if we didn't have at least more than the 50% business, we probably wouldn't last, because it would be overwhelming. However, we're able to shut the door at the end of the day from this place, open the door to our house, and have a fresh start, essentially,
Are you actually able to kind of shut down?
Absolutely. You have to be able to find that, to digress. Now, you may not do it, but you don't let her know it, or she doesn't let me know it, and you kind of look through your own channel there.
And we started that early. That was something we started when we were both, and I was working full-time for a company out here in Washington. He was with the government. We gave ourselves 5 minutes to talk about our day at dinner, and then after that 5 minutes, it was done. We never talked about it again. So we were already programmed.
Right, because a lot of the stuff that I would translate through dinner, she's not going to understand, and nor does she need to know a lot of that information either. So we just didn't really talk about it.
So that flour recipe that I mentioned at the beginning, what's the deal with that?
He said that we were the last one, and right away bells started ringing. I'm thinking, I wonder if I can just maybe carry on his legacy, maybe buy that entire operation from him outright, and then maybe open another one of these pretzel stores, maybe in Dallas, Texas, or Florida, or somewhere where they're not accustomed to the pretzel but would love to be introduced to it. So there's a lot of
how was buying the recipe, how was or getting the recipe, how did we come about there? Real quick, a little more background here. Anna and Andy bought this franchise from the people that were running it for 20 plus years at the mall. But the original Pretzels Plus franchise owner still had the recipes and connections for obtaining the flour and secret ingredients. And this operation in Washington is now the last of the 37 that were once in operation. Now, back to Andy.
So what had happened is Brad had a secondary guy that did the mixing for him, and then we would buy it off of him for whatever his price was. So after explaining to Brad, this price could change, et cetera, is there any way that we can maybe navigate in the event something, happens? He said, you're absolutely right, Andy. Here's the recipe. And it was literally that easy and that simple. But he trusts us with that. So that's kept sacred, and that's kind of what we'll leave it at, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, we're excited.
A huge thank you to Anna, Andy, and everyone else at Pretzels Plus for allowing me to follow along for a few days, especially those of you that were a little bit less excited about being on camera. If you've been craving one of those delicious mall pretzels, take a stop down to Pretzels Plus, let them know that I sent you. If you've got an event coming up, or you just really like the idea of having a massive amount of pretzel bites on hand, give them a call, place an order for a pretzel tray. Everyone will be super jazzed when you show up to the party, I promise. If you have an old group of friends that you remember awkwardly roaming the malls with, munching on pretzels, trying to flirt with your crush, take a trip down memory lane, stop in, share a pretzel, get a delicious milkshake, or better yet, try a frozen hot chocolate. This episode was brought to you by the City of Washington Citywide Development Corporation. If you're a business owner in the City of Washington and need another set of eyes on any of the problems you're experiencing, reach out. It's a free resource. Contact info is down in the description. If you have a business that you would like to see featured, please let me know. I will do my best to highlight them. Next up, Coolie Schoolie, the ice cream slinging school bus, Don Greer's fashion floors, and plenty of others. If you want to see some of the other conversations from my time at Pretzels Plus, make sure that you are subscribed. Thank you for watching. Go out and have the greatest week of your life.